Hello and welcome to another housing review. It's been a little while since I've made one of these, but I've been spending a lot of time in Strident Springs preparing for this for a little while now. And I'm going to probably be really busy next week recording all of the videos for the new houses and the new DLC because it's hitting PTS tomorrow. Very exciting. So I thought I'd get this out of the way now, otherwise it's going to be a very long time before I'm able to do it. So this is Strident Springs, as you can see. Strident Springs is in Reaper's March, just above Arenthia on the map. And it costs 1,280,000 gold. Or you can buy it for 6,300 crowns, 7,900 if you're buying it furnished. And it's considered a large home and has 600 items. So the first thing we're going to do is, as you can see, I've built a very attractive little walkway here. So we're just going to have a look at how high you can go. I first of all built up to here to see if we can get up to there. We can't get in there because of the invisible wall around the edge, which I suppose is to stop you from killing yourself maybe, or like obviously jumping out of the house on the other end. Quite a shame because this would be a really cool little thing if you were building as well, to be able to get up there this way. The invisible wall is here, so it's just around where the top of this tower is. As you can see, it's pretty high up. It's a nice height. It's much higher than the house. Makes it perfect for building here, which is great. You can't get onto this walkway, which is a bit sad. I would quite have liked that, even though the item limit is already too big for here. That would have still been quite cool. And then, as we've got these big tall walls all around the edge and you can't see, I've built a little platform here just to show the view if you were to build some kind of like platform up here. The view is really nice, as it is from up there too, actually, if you were to build something really tall. You can see Arenthia out there, really nice. But unfortunately, the back end of the house does not have a very nice view. It's literally just a big rocky cliffside. I did ask a few other people what their thoughts were on this house, and one of the comments was that the view from the back is just not very attractive with all of those big cliff edges. Some people might not mind that. Obviously, other people are really not happy with that. They don't like the fact that it's just a cliff edge and wish that there was a different sort of view over there. Or, you know, if the cliffs were further back and there was just something there rather than just looking up at rocks. So yeah, we'll start off with the garden as usual. So size-wise, the garden is enormous, especially for a 600 item house. It's a really big one. It's got this beautiful waterfall and water here, which is a really attractive feature and something that makes this house one of the favourites among a lot of people. Houses with water, specifically houses with water and a waterfall, are always really, really popular. Yeah, and this also makes this place amazing to build caves in because of all of this space and because of the water. But at the same time, it's also a really great place to build other stuff. Lots of people do building in here, and a lot of people buy this specifically for the garden and completely ignore the house because it is just a really nice space. Aesthetically, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. The house itself from the outside, it might not completely match up, which we'll go over in a minute, to the inside. But it is a really, really attractive house. The waterfall's attractive. We get the tower, which is really nice. The walls are really nicely textured. We just go up here. So yeah, we've got a really nice tower. Again, really fantastic views from up here. Really nice. I like it a lot. But for some reason I can't get out now. There we go. So yeah, it's just a really, really, really beautiful garden. Items that you can't move. Turn on housing editor for this. So we can't move this. It's kind of like a bit of a decking, I guess. It kind of looks like a dock, but it's not a dock because this is just a little pond. Um, but yeah, you can't move this. I mean, it does look attractive. At the same time, you can kind of see it's been built from items we can already get in the game. So some people might not like this. So it would be good to have a choice, as with all of the houses. Like you should be able to buy houses with this stuff and all of these big rocks you can't move here, which I know irritate people. Specifically the big one in the middle there. um, but I think there should be more of a choice when it comes to this. So you could either buy it with all of this stuff or buy it completely empty, like without all of this, because it can be frustrating if you're trying to build something. So I've even seen people suggest before to buy a plot where the house is, but buy it without the house and just buy the land that the house is on, which I thought was a great idea, but I'm not sure that's ever going to happen. But if it did, that would be very exciting. So yeah, this is the outside of Strident Springs. We're going to go inside now. We'll go around the front because we're still around the back. But yeah, the ground is really nice. It's very unique. It's sort of... That's another thing, actually. Somebody was like, why is it all arid here when it rains so much? Which is actually true. Like, this is in Reaper's March where it does rain a lot. And it's 100% true that... as you can see, you do kind of go through the stairs here. It does rain a lot, so it doesn't make so much sense that it's always dry and deserty. But, you know, it's just the way it is, I guess. Right, inside the house. So we could also have seen those windows on the outside as well. But the windows here are really nice. They don't let in a huge amount of light, so it's not the brightest of houses. But that's fine because you can add lights yourself. And a lot of people also prefer the darker houses, as I've said before. I really like the kind of look and style of this, where it's sort of woodwork and then brick. The big windows are really attractive, very nice. I really like this as well. This like sort of hole above where you can see into the top level, I really like that. It's a really, really attractive feature here. Also the hallway, very nice. These windowsills are another really great feature aesthetically and for also building as well. You can make little window seats here or just use it for all sorts of different things. This is the bigger room. As you can see, it's quite oddly shaped. And the two smaller rooms here as well. Having smaller rooms in a house does help with item limits because it means you don't have to split areas up. And it's also quite nice because the areas are already zoned off for you, so it can make decorating much, much easier. So this house would be perfect for somebody who is maybe new to decorating, because it is very easy to decorate this house because of the way that it's separated up. You don't have to split the area up yourself, so I would really recommend this house for people who are just starting out in housing or are buying their first house and really looking forward to getting into decorating it. This one is a very nice, easy one to do. There are a few like that actually. I might actually make a video about that this week because I think that that would be a helpful little thing for new players. So, yes. So as I said, the little rooms can be useful, but they are very small rooms. So you're not going to be able to do anything really hugely extravagant in them because they are very tiny. As I stated before, the rooms are very small, which makes it difficult to really like build as such in some areas of the house. But this area in the middle, you could certainly build something or use this double level in the middle to your advantage. I've seen people build staircases up there, and block off this area. Um, Seen people do all sorts of things like that just to save item slots. So they want to decorate the garden to its full potential. So they'll like block off this room, they'll block off here, put some stairs and just use like this area and a bit upstairs. So there is some creative potential inside. I mean, people can do all sorts of crazy things. You'd be surprised at what people can do with such a kind of awkward space with all of these tiny rooms. Like, people are just so imaginative, and I'm shocked and surprised every single day in a very pleasant way when I see the things that people come up with because they're just genius. So yeah, there is creative potential inside the house too. So now we're going to look at the location of the house. So as I've already showed you on the map, we're up here. We're by Arenthia. So yeah, Arenthia over here. Arenthia, there it is. I'm pretty sure the closest way shrine is through Arenthia over here, so we're going to go there and have a look. Now, my horse on NA does not have full speed, just to warn you. So yeah, we're going to go through Arenthia to get there. So here is Arenthia. Arenthia doesn't have much, if I'm being honest. We've got a pack merchant here, which is handy, I suppose. We've got a general merchant up there, I believe, yeah. We've got a brewer and a chef, an armourer, a tailor, weapon woodworker, mystic. There's the, which I know, we've got stables too. So you're not like really far out, but obviously there are all these people trying to kill me here because you do have to complete a quest here to make the town not want to kill you. But yeah, Aranthia is quite a pretty town. It's quite an attractive one, and as you can see, it's not that close to the Way Shrine or all of that other stuff in the town, but it is quite close to them. So like we have got a general merchant, a pack merchant, we've got a weaponsmith, so we can craft stuff. We've got a stable. So you don't have all of the necessities that you might want, but there is stuff there. So it's not the best location for sure, and some people think it's a terrible location, but if you don't mind riding for a minute or so, then you can get to some places that might be quite handy. But yeah, if you're buying a house purely for location, I would probably not recommend Strident Springs for a house in a good location because there are many more that are in much better locations than Strident Springs. Okay, something I wanted to talk about quickly. We go back outside. As I mentioned a little while ago, the outside and inside do not match. So that window up there does. That's why we've got that cute little window seat. But there's also another window above that, but we don't have another floor. And then we've got these huge, beautiful windows here. And if you go inside, they're not here. They don't exist. And this should also be kind of, I don't know, it's too far back. It should be forward a bit more. You have another look. It's kind of strange because, like, there should be a window there. I'm falling through the floor again. There should be a window there. I mean, it does not match up whatsoever to the inside and the outside. So if you're looking at the outside of this house and you haven't been inside and you're like, oh, maybe we'll buy this, I'd highly recommend checking inside first because inside and outside do not match up. We've also got windows in this tower, but we can't get into the tower. We can't even get onto the tower. So having a window there is kind of frustrating because it's like almost telling you that there's something there when there's not, which is fine if you're building your own house and you want to do that. But if you're buying a house, it's kind of like false advertising, I guess, when you see things like that. I might die now. Oh no, we survived. Okay, so let's talk about item limits, shall we? So this house is beautiful. It's easy to decorate. It's got lots of rooms. It's got this amazing, beautiful garden, lovely views, waterfall. item limit is not the best. In fact, it's quite poor. So this house is the size of a 700 item limit house easily. Okay, the main house might not be, but look all of you get with the house. It's just a really big space, even with this tower as well. Like, it's just too much space for 600 items. I will read you some comments that people made when I asked people about this house in a bit. I asked people what they thought about this house, and I will tell you what other people's opinions were in a moment. But I know that when I first decorated this house, I concentrated pretty much exclusively inside the house. I didn't put much outside whatsoever, just because the item limit is quite poor. It's not the worst in the whole game. I mean, if you look at Sijic Villa or Hackfields, I know I always bring those two up when I'm talking about houses that are terrible with the item limit. That's because they're the worst ones. If you look at houses like those, the item limit here is nowhere near as bad as that. It is doable. You can decorate this with 600. It's just a bit of pain. So I do wish that this was 700 items. That's what I personally believe it should be. So ideas for this place. As I said before, you could build a cave. I've seen many people build a cave here, including myself. I also built a cave here. I've seen people build little towns here. I've seen people build houses here. All sorts. It's just literally, your possibilities are endless when it comes to building here, really. It's a really big space. You've got the water. You can build up pretty high as well. I think when I made my cave here, I actually utilized this watchtower as well. So in my cave, I had like a little door, and we went up to there, and then I caved in the top as well and made like a little alchemy lab up there. So that was quite cool. You didn't really feel like you were going up. It was just like through a door, I guess, when it came to my build. But yeah, it's really, really, really nice for building in. Decorating, if you're not really a builder and you just want to decorate, you might have a bit of trouble with item limits, but you're going to have a lot more trouble if you're a builder than you are a decorator, I think, unless you build something quite small. Building wise, it's quite nice as well because it's very easy to block areas off in this house. So yeah, beautiful windows, wonderful woodwork, and just really nice that it's split up. That could be something that people dislike as well though, so that's like a personal preference, I suppose. Some people like the big open houses, some people like smaller rooms. So that's just down to what you prefer. So yeah, I love this house. It was almost my first house in the game. And I don't know, I just really, really, really love it. So I'm going to read you a couple of comments that other people made when I asked what people's thoughts and feelings were about Strident Springs. So let's just read those. Okay, so here's a comment. Somebody said, I don't own that one, but I love the look of the house itself. It's nice to have those rooms upstairs as well. The water element is nice, but the setting of Reaper's March is too barren. How can a place like Reaper's March with so much rain be so barren? Drives me nuts. So that's one person's comment. Somebody else said, I agree about Strident Springs, love the Imperial home, but if I were to decorate mine, most of my item count would go turning it into a lush garden. And someone said, I like the waterfall and the garden side. The rocks around the non-removable trees at cliff sides of the building look ugly though. The house itself is nice, you can customize it quite well and it offers a lot of smaller rooms. Wish it had a basement. The whole place would be more appealing if it was a little bit more compact though. It's a lot of space and I always found it hard to work with the 600 slots both in and out. It was my first home I bought, so it will always have a special place. If it was in better location, featured 700 slots, the surroundings were a little bit more open with a nice view on a town or something, and it would be completely walled off around it, instead of the cliff on the backside. I think it would be one of the best homes in the game. Imagine Strident Springs inside a town like Wayrest with a nice green garden, preferably square-sized, featuring the huge pond with the fountain or something instead of the waterfall completely walled off. Absolute dream property. That was a bit of a long one. And somebody else said, I think Strident Springs has too much yard for the spots the house has. So that was a nice one. But yeah, so basically people are saying that they don't think the item limit is enough. They don't like the view around the back, which we'll just have a quick look at now. Pretty sure I'm going out the wrong door, am I? Yep. Okay, we'll go around here. People don't like this view at the back, which I can't say I blame them, and you can't remove those trees. So if you wanted to make something completely kind of unique, that would put you off because you might not want trees there. So yeah, completely get that. A wall might have been better. And yeah, the 600 item limit is hard to work with. But yeah, I still think that this house has amazing potential creatively. I think aesthetically it's absolutely beautiful. I think that possibilities here are quite endless. I think there's so much you could do, but you could obviously do more if the item limit were higher. I kind of don't like talking about how item limits should be higher because ZeniMax did say that they're not going to be increasing it despite all of the suggestions that people have made and all of the things that people have been saying about how our houses are too big. And tomorrow we get to see the 2 new houses on the PTS, which I shall be uploading on my channel tomorrow evening probably. As soon as it's out, I'll be uploading them. And I guess we'll just have to hope that ZeniMax are listening to us and not going to be uploading houses the size of Zones again. I've got a feeling that they're going to be too big for 700 items again, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm going to give this house a 6 out of 10. I can't possibly give it more than that because I gave Ample Domicile 6.5. And you can be so creative in there. You can probably be more creative here than there, if I'm being honest. But the item limit is very restricting, and you can't be as creative in the actual house because of the small rooms. The main room you can be, but yeah, and it's also very expensive. I mean, it's not the cheapest for crowns, and for gold, it's over £1 million gold for this house. Unlike the Ample Domicile and Ravenhurst, which are the top 2 at the moment, which are very affordable in price. So yeah, and the location's not great. The item limit's not great. So even though it's beautiful and has potential, Strident Springs is probably going to have to settle on a 6 out of 10. I know I'm very harsh with these marks. And I don't honestly think any of the houses are going to make a 10, but you never know. One day a house might come along and it might be perfect, so we need to leave room for that. So yeah, this house has got a 6 out of 10. So thank you ever so much for watching. Again, if you would like to have a good little mooch around the new houses, I'll be doing that tomorrow when the PTS goes live, and I'll be uploading them shortly afterwards onto my channel. So if you would like to come and have a little tour around the new houses with me, then you can do that tomorrow night. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.